Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Hour Priestess here, and today I'm going to be making Get to Know Your Witches tag that was created by Little Cosmic Crow. Um, and I'm going to try my best to put a link to her channel. Um, I was tagged by Raw Spirit, and I was telling her I had a rough couple of weeks, so I hadn't been able to post a VR video. And so I'm doing it now, pretty late in the game. I'm also going to be making a video about what's going on in the last couple of weeks. Still working on that, so I'm going to most likely make it maybe during the weekend to the beginning of next week because I really want to take my time making that video. So, but I wanted to do something fun. Yesterday, I downloaded a Dollar Tree slash Walmart haul. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. And I talk about spiritual offerings and things like that on that video. So this is a 15 question tag. I watched the original video and I've been watching a lot of other people's videos because I always find it interesting to learn about other people's paths and things like that. So hopefully you like this new view. I kind of wanted to change the angle of the camera when I do recordings. So the first question is, does your sun sign, so your zodiac sign, portray you correctly? If not, do other planetary signs. So my birthday is in April, and I'm in the very, very beginning of being a Taurus. So I find that I have a lot of Aries in me as well as Taurus energy. So I'm kind of between signs, which I notice I'm not the only one because my daughter's the same way. She's kind of a Taurus Gemini. You know what I mean? And then sometimes she kind of sways more to the Taurus side. So that's kind of how I see it too, because a lot of the traits I do have, but a lot of the traits I don't have. And I get along very well with Aries, males and females, and things of that nature. So, as well as Pisces, of course. But, and I do get along with Libras and things like that. I get along with everybody, but you know what I mean. So yes and no. Um, I'm kind of in the middle with that one. Number two, what songs bring you the most magical vibes? Okay, so I practice, for those that don't know me, and these practices when I do a ritual are kept separate. Okay, so there's three paths that I follow these days, and some of them all my life. Um, so I grew up in um, with a lot of hoodoo elements in my life. It was not called hoodoo when I was growing up. It was just what you did, working the root, talking to the spirits, so on and so forth. And then I also practice Santeria. I'm initiated in that, so is my mom, and I grew up in that as well, which is different than hoodoo. So I do serve the Orishas. And also voodoo. I did grow up around voodoo. I left that, and then people started coming back into my life because I am Puerto Rican descent and also Haitian descent. Okay, so I have a lot of African in my family, Portuguese, Native American, so on and so forth. And so I keep these practices separate. So when voodoo, I practice Haitian voodoo and I serve the loas, which I notice a lot of people don't really talk about the loas a lot on YouTube because um, Haitian voodoo is very, very, very secretive. Um, and so the magic, I don't really consider it magic. I'll say spiritual. So in my spiritual path, when I do rituals, when I do, in Spanish, so call it trabajos, so workings. I like that a little bit better than the word spells. Not to offend anybody, but you know, I didn't really grow up with with that vocabulary. The music that I listen to would depend on the ritual. So if I'm doing something that's dedicated to the spirits of hoodoo and very ancestral spirits, I would listen to, let's say, gospel music. I would listen to, because I have a Espiritismo in my family as well. You know, I have Espirititas in my family, so there are certain music that's dedicated to that is in Spanish. I also would do gospel music to get me into that high vibration and things of that nature. Songs that are dedicated to the saints and so on and so forth, or the ancestors. When I'm practicing Santeria, I am listening to Yoruba music. It's music that's spoken in Yoruba. Every Orisha has their song, their incantation, their prayers, and their dances. So there's a lot of dancing that's involved. There's a lot of the way we dress for certain rituals. You know, if it's dress up ritual, if you're doing, you know, protective work, if you're hexing, whatever. I do whatever. You know what I mean? Depending on what I'm doing, is the way I'm going to be dressed. A lot of the rituals that I do, not the workings, but the rituals involves more than one person. Okay, it could be a small group, it could be a big group. There's certain annual, like certain holidays, feast days, obligatory in the practice that we get together, and we do big rituals. Okay, the house that I'm a part of. So, you know, we would have music specifically for those spirits. There's certain, I guess in English it'll be sigils, I guess, certain signs that will be drawn down so the spirits could come down. And the music would be of the descent of the Orishas, which they are Yoruba in nature. Okay, they're from the Yoruba kingdom. When I'm practicing Haitian voodoo, which is for the Dahomey kingdom, I'm putting on Haitian music. They're speaking French Creole. They're using, they have their incantations that are sung through the music. So African drumming, African drums, Congo drums, the Igbo drums, those drums are very big and very important in my spiritual path. When I'm serving the Lord, I'm trying to be as traditional as possible. And so the music in my path, in the various African traditional religious paths that I follow, drumming and their traditional music that people have been playing for them for hundreds of years is the music that's being played for us. We're dressing from them, we're giving them offerings and reverence and honor because they don't serve us, we serve them. Okay. I am part Native American, so I'm going to include that as well in this answer. And so I have Apache and Taino descent, okay? And from that, when I'm serving the Apache chiefs, because I have chiefs under me, male and female warrior spirits of native indigenous descent, I'm putting on Apache music. I'm dancing Apache dances. You know what I mean? Music in their language for different things. You know, I try to keep their rituals also separate and very as traditional as I can because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of indigenous people were colonized, and so we try to keep it as traditional as we can. And then with the Tainos, the same thing. The Tainos have been retaking their culture in the islands, and wanting to be established as a tribe because right now they're not federally recognized, okay? And they're trying to fight for their federal lands and things of that nature, because they found that 80% of Puerto Ricanos still have Taino DNA within their DNA strand. So a race of people cannot be extinct if the DNA still exists within your veins. So that's another video for another day. So I try to put Taino music in the Taino language, and you know, give them offerings and homages as traditional as I can. That's where my espiritismo background and my hoodoo background comes in. Okay, so those are the types of music that I listen to. Music that is specifically of my tribes that I come from and my lineage. So mine is more of a cultural and traditional music. Which one of your deities and guides ancestors is most sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply to you, which of your tarot oracle decks is? So the spirits that I serve, they are, I can't speak on other traditions. I don't know. To me, sarcasm is a cultural thing. So some people might think that certain things that me and my friends say or things that I say to my children are sarcastic. But I serve the Madama spirit. I serve various African spirits, and a lot of them are very blunt. You will be in a voodoo ritual or even a Santeria ritual, and people think, you know, people that are partaking in the group, and a stranger might just spill your whole tea, your whole business. You know, I've been a part of rituals where people have been invited to the ritual, nobody knows your business, and spirits have said, hey, you're having an affair with such and such in front of the wife. So I don't know if sarcastic is the word or blunt. When you attend a voodoo ritual, a santeria ritual, and someone goes into possession, when, you know, they call it horses, when the spirit fully takes you over, expect the unexpected, because if you go there to disrespect, if you go there as a sideshow, or if you go there with dishonest intentions, don't ever lie to a spirit, because a spirit will call you out. I'm drinking coffee because it's like still morning, and I'm taking a break because I'm gonna clean. Because I scheduled all my readings for the afternoon because I wanted to take the morning to like clean the house and do some self-care, because sometimes as a spiritual worker we tend to put ourselves in the back burner. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much um it's there's many of my spirits that I serve that are blunt. I serve warrior spirits, you know what I mean? So Madama, my Indian spirits, could be very blunt because I do serve a couple of chiefs. One main chief, I don't use him to read others because he has made people cry, and you know what I mean. So I have a particular spirit that comes through me when I read, and you get the same information, but it's a little bit gentler type of situation. I work more with the native spirits in a different way, things like that. But when it comes to me wanting to know the truth about myself, I don't mind that, because I feel like it's not sarcastic, it's just honest and blunt. So I don't see it as sarcasm. I don't know if that's a cultural thing or whatever. That stuff doesn't really bother me because that's how it is. I grew up like that. So yes, number 4, biggest witchy mess up or misinterpretation. Biggest witchy mess up or interpretation. I have 2. So I didn't know that YouTube have spiritual channels. I discovered that when I was going through a negative period, and I discovered a channel, Carmen A. Scheid, and she did angel meditations, and she used the angels to heal her chakras. I had never heard of chakras or anything like that. So, you know, because I'm not Hindu and I'm not from India, and I know that actually originates from India, which I didn't know that because a lot of people use it. It wasn't until later on I actually discovered that comes from a religious tradition. So yeah, so you know, I had to do a lot of self work, so I started healing myself through colors, and things of that nature. And I had left the path that I grew up in, and I went into fundamentalist Christianity, and they kind of made the African spirits that I always grown up, the native spirits that I always grown up seeing. My mother always had an altar to our mixed culture of natives and Africans, beautiful African statues, beautiful native statues. My mom really heavily worked more with the ancestors and the saints and things like that. And you know, the religion that I was a part of, I'm not saying all Christians are like that, made it seem like what I was doing was demonic. Nowadays, I go to Catholic church. They serve saints. I'm comfortable with that. And I also do my spirituality, and I'm good with that mixture. Okay. I don't consider myself a Christian witch. I am Catholic by tradition. My mom has always been Catholic. I went into more of a fundamentalist Christian background. And it wasn't until I started to see the similarities um, in the cults that I would watch shows on, that I realized that I was part of a cult that was disguising themselves as Christians. And I was being brainwashed, and I was being forced to stay in a very abusive marriage. And so I went to my mom for help. I was pregnant with my 3rd child. He's 13 now, so this is going back 14 years ago. Um, no, I went to her before I got pregnant from, sorry, 15, 16 years ago. And she started mentoring me. She did a ritual for me because I was having problems with my second born child at the time. And I already had said the story before, so pretty much, long story short, I came into the spirituality that I'm in now, and I realized that I had to do what was the right path for me. So I started going back to Espiritismo, Hoodoo, you know, because Espiritismo is how I serve my native spirits. Hoodoo, started going into then I started going back to Santeria, which I was initiated as a young child, and then I started going back into voodoo, started really calling me, and it was through a client that I had. We made a wonderful friendship. I kind of had a feeling she served the Loas, and we exchanged things because she wanted to get closer to the Orishas because she also is part Dominican. She's Haitian and Dominican. So that's what we started to do, and it was a beautiful thing. And I am part of a society, a voodoo society as well. I have my group of people that we do things together, and it's beautiful to be part of a house and a family. So, but that was my biggest thing. When I went into YouTube, I thought that was another thing that I did. I thought that I had to be into crystals and new age things because that was mostly what I was seeing, or serve a European spirit and things like that. So, when my ancestral spirits were calling, I was also dabbling in a path that wasn't for me. Because I did experiment with Wicca, and there's nothing against Wicca, but it wasn't the path for me. Some of it, like do no harm and things like that, went against what I believe in. I don't believe you have karma the way that people talk about karma when you're defending yourself. Because if somebody breaks into my house and is going to try to shoot my kids up, I'm going to grab a weapon and I'm going to defend my kids with my life. And that's how I see magic. You know, that's how I see when you do something, a reversal, or you hex somebody, it has to be for justified reasons. You wash your hands of it and you're fine. I don't believe in that. That is more of a different culture. And so I learned to embrace my culture, never to look down on other people's culture, but that my culture is just as good as everybody else's culture, and my beliefs are just as good as everybody else's beliefs, and we just need to respect each other's beliefs. um, you know, because there's a lot of shame in African traditional spirituality. It's looked down upon, it's stereotyped, you know what I mean, in a lot of ways. And so I had to kind of just be me. It took a lot for me to make a channel. I had fellow YouTubers, they were like, you should make a channel. And I hesitated because I'm like, I don't really see many people that look like me on YouTube that talk about hoodoo. And it's not to be rude, but a lot of them are European, you know, and so it took a lot for me to make the channel, and I'm grateful because it's growing, especially in these last 6, 7 months. And so that was my biggest thing. I thought that nobody would be interested in what I had to say. So, okay. Number 5. Would you write a book on your craft, spirituality, and why? I am doing mentorship courses in September. I am a full-time root worker, so I do rituals, and some people call them spell work for others on a full-time basis, and for myself as well. And I also do readings, whether there's angel readings, spiritual readings, past life, predictive readings, all that kind of stuff, counseling readings, and things like that. On a professional basis. It's my main job. So I would love to write a book about my experiences working on a psychic hotline, what it was like to have my own business, and also a little bit of an autobiography, because how I came into my spirituality, I feel like I have a story to share. I'm also working on a workbook because I am going to be doing mentorship courses. The first mentorship course I want to do is going to be based on African, African hoodoo, conjure, root working. I feel like I want to do that. For those that are interested, this will be a paid internship, and that will start towards the ending of September. There will be more updates on that. I'm working on a self-published workbook that I'm going to be giving to my students. I'm looking into the laws of copyright. I don't want anybody else, no offense, like taking my work, changing a couple of words, and then stealing it and reselling it, because I've had experiences with people stealing my stuff. So I want to make sure everything's copyrighted so I could protect my work, and also make sure I have the time to do that one-on-one mentorship that I want to do. So I could just share this beautiful path with others that are interested in learning. So yes, I'm going to be writing a book, and maybe even more than one. So if someone wanted to summon you to their circle, what 5 items would they do? So I don't work in a circle, okay? I don't cast circles. We don't really do that in my path that I follow, in the houses that I'm part of, neither the Santeria or the Voodoo houses that I'm a part of. We don't do that. We do signs, so signas or firmas, um, with the orishas, and then we do veves with the voodoo spirits. They have a certain, um, I don't know, in America they would say sigils, I guess, um, that conjures them up amongst other things that you do. And so the first thing that you would do to summon me up is I would have my own either firma or veve, okay? Because I would love nothing more than to become an ancestral spirit that guides others. I don't know if I want to reincarnate. I think I want to be an ancestor, and so the 5 things would be a veve, a good bottle of blue Alizé, because I don't drink but I love Alizé. The third thing would be I will be a spirit that helps when you feel like you need justice and someone has done you wrong, helping somebody pass on to the next life. So I would deal a lot with the like the cemetery, the afterlife, that kind of thing. So either a black candle or a white candle, depending on what purpose you're gonna use me for. Because I love the Gede spirits. I love the voodoo Gede spirits. So I want to be a Gede spirit. Like I want to be an ancestral spirit. So you can use one of those 2 things. Number 4, music. Play me some good bomba music, some bomba and plena music. You know what I mean? I would love that. Or some beautiful, beautiful Haitian music, and I'm good with that too. And number 5, food. If you make me a good bistec con arroz blanco, so encebollado, so like this Caribbean way of making steak. It has onions and vinegar. Like it's really, really good. It's not like fried or anything. It's like boiled and steamed, and it marinates overnight. I can't describe it, but it's really, really good. Anybody who's Caribbean descent knows what a bistec is. Yum. Bistec and white rice. I will come to you anytime. I will even give my followers the recipe for that. So, yes, that's what I would need to be conjured up. Invoked. I would say invoked, because, like, summon, I wouldn't be a spirit that will be submissive. Like, you would have to address me a certain way. So, call me into your sacred ritual. Okay. If someone wanted to, okay, I did number 6. If you were a ghost, what place would you haunt? So I wouldn't haunt anything. Again, I want to become an ancestral spirit. I want to be what the gate is. So if I would haunt, I guess, no, I take that back. I will haunt a cemetery. I love cemeteries. I'll be in the cemetery all day, walking around. And like I said, if you wanted me to like take care of somebody who's not a good person, scare them in the middle of the night or whatever because they're being bad or hurting a child or anything of that nature, I will be okay with doing that. I'm just keeping it real. So, and I will also be a protective spirit if somebody needs my help for protection. Okay. What is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you're a witch? So I'm gonna say, what was the funniest reaction someone found out that I practice Santeria and Voodoo? And so the neighborhood that I live in, one time I was cleaning the hallway, and I used like a little cauldron with a little handle. It's like a Turkish coffee pot. That's what I use. So I put the charcoal, and I had like fresh herb mix that I was using to pretty much clean the space in my home. And the neighbors were looking at me, and they were like, "Oh," because there were people outside, right? and I needed to clean the outside of my door because I live in the city, and they was looking at me like, oh my God, she's a witch. They were like scared and staring at me from across the way and just like, and then I was getting harassed by churches. I think they had said something because like a lot of church people kept leaving pamphlets and ringing my doorbell, harassing me, but harassing nobody else. And somebody gave me like their book and da 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 da. So I wrote a note and said, no solicitation. I already have my religion. Please respect that as I respect everybody else's. Do you know that somebody actually wrote back to me and were like, let me know what apartment you in. It's freedom of religion. I wasn't trying to be offensive or whatever. Blah 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 blah. We're trying to save your life. And I was like, okay. So yeah, somebody got so hurt because I put a sign that said, if you're gonna speak to me about salvation and Jesus and things like that, please respect that I have my own religion. The post office guy, I had to take the sign down. The post office guy was afraid to knock on my door. It would just leave packages. And one day I was like, why are you doing that? He's like, oh, because you don't want to know about God, so I kind of don't want that energy. Like, the post office guy was scared of me. The neighbors were all scared of me. I was like, okay, it's not that serious. So definitely funny and weird reaction. Especially because, especially with voodoo is one of the paths that's made so much fun of. I was watching a documentary about health, and they were talking about the medicinal properties of cannabis, and the doctor was like, this is science, it's not that voodoo stuff. And that's, a lot of people do that. Like, a lot of people want to laugh at voodoo, but I just come to a place that a lot of people are just scared of it, because even if they say they don't believe in it, a lot voodoo strikes fear in people. So I just kind of come to accept the fact that people are not going to understand. I don't go around advertising anything, but like at the same time, I'm not going to be ashamed of my spirits either. So, but yeah, I've had a lot of, even on YouTube, I get questions about animal sacrifices every 5 minutes. I get people, like, oh, do you dance with animal heads? And, do you smear blood on altars? Like, what are you talking? Like, this is not a Chucky movie or a scary movie. You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous. But I even gotten comments that I blocked and deleted because I'm like, okay, no, no, and no. Okay. So, do I have any superstitions? This is a hard question for me because superstitions are, to some people, like dumb things that people think, why do you believe in that? It's supposed to be like, oh, wives' tale, or like silly. And my beliefs are, none of them to me are superstitious. Like, I genuinely do believe in what I believe in. I believe in spirits. They're not archetypes to me. They're actual spirits. I've seen miracles. I'm going to make a video about a miracle that recently happened. So I don't know if what I believe in I would classify as superstition. I would just say what some people would consider a superstition, but is not a superstition to me. Don't ever sweep my feet. I was raised that you never, when somebody's sweeping, you're not supposed to sweep your feet. Some people say because you'll end up in jail. Some people say because you'll never get married, so on and so forth. I grew up to, you never open an umbrella in your house. When it rains and I have to let the umbrella dry, it's in my entrance downstairs. It's not in my house because I was brought up to believe that is bad luck. When you come from outside, my mother always told me that you track in negativity. So my mother always wiped down the bottom of our shoes with Florida water, and before you can let it go upstairs. My mother would like smoke things out if she had to, if you went into a place that had negative energies. We grew up, I mean, there's just so many things that some people will consider a superstition that is not for me. One of my biggest pet peeves, my daughter even freaks out about it, is do not walk around with one shoe. In my family, that is the ultimate crime, because that will bring you 7 years of bad luck in my family. I grew up in that. That's like a thing. Like, don't be walking around with one sock and don't be walking around with one shoe. I remember my ex-husband and my ex-fiance, that was one of, why are you doing that? So he would like try to bother me. I was like, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, that's why both of my exes have very negative things happening to them. I'm telling you, that's a real thing. Do not be walking around with one shoe like it's real. So don't be doing that. Put on the two shoes or take the shoe off. Don't be doing that. No. Okay. Now, if you could possess any fantasy magic, what would your powers be? I don't know if this is fantasy magic or not. I would love to end world hunger. I would love for not one other child or one adult go to bed with hunger. I wish I possessed the power to create enough food sources to end prejudice of all kinds, social, economic, racial, religious, all the things that cause war. And I would make magically, if I had the power, I would make world peace and I would end hunger. So no other person in this world will die of famine. Because a lot of people will be saying like, oh, starving children in Africa, and that really bothers me because Africa is not the only continent that has issues with hunger. Haiti is not the only place, like, you know what I mean? They're always trying to do that. As a matter of fact, Haiti's beautiful. I'm gonna be going there soon. But anyways, um, I want to end world hunger everywhere, and we have starving children that die every day in this country too. There's starving children worldwide, and I would love to end that. I would love to get to a position one day where I could guarantee 3 meals a day to even the most poorest person, you know, and that will never go into another war again. And some people might say that's fantasy, that's never going to happen. But I would give anything for that. That no one ever dies of hunger. I feel like that's the saddest thing that in 2019, we still have hunger in this world. So, yeah, that's what my fantasy magic would be. Let's see. Sorry, I got like, okay. What is something random on your altars? So it looks random, but it's not random because everything on my altars is like placed there for a reason. But like this spray bottle is in the altar to the spirit that I have in my reading altar, where I conduct my readings in the space. And it's a white bottle because one of her colors is white, and she's the spirit of purification and all the three clairs and so on and so forth. So I fill this up with water, holy water or Florida water, which I have a little bit in there. And I'm gonna make like a spray for her that's gonna be dedicated to her, so on and so forth. So it may seem random, like why do you have a spray bottle in the altar, but it has a purpose to it. And this might seem random, but she loves coffee, so I give her real coffee, but I also give her this coffee scented candle that I'm gonna be dedicating to her. I bought this from the dollar store, so and when I'm conducting readings and things like that, coffee is very sacred in the paths that I follow. It's an exorcist curio. It's a purification. It's a house blessing, house cleansing. Several of the spirits that I serve take coffee as an offering. So there's this particular one. So coffee has so many purpose to it, guys. So anybody can have access. You can buy coffee in the dollar store. So I'm going to be burning this for her. So those are two random things that may seem random, but they're random to others, but for a purpose for me. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I have her questions, but I'm like scrolling, and my phone keeps like locking up. So, okay, number 12. If one of your YouTubers you watch was a genie and they could grant 3 wishes within their power, who would it be and what wishes? Carmen A. Shide is the first YouTuber that I ever watched. I wish I had the talent to write and create the angelic meditations that she's done. They have been nothing but healing for me. They got me back into my path because it was a gentler way. And even though I really don't work in the new age or with angels or things like that anymore, it was my way of easing back into my lineage, my culture, and things like that. And I will forever be grateful to her for that. Um, I would love to be able to create the kind of meditations that she does. I would love to be able to go to her one day and have her perform angelic like energy exchange with me and do a live meditation with me because her meditations are amazing. I don't think she's posted for years now, so I don't even know if her channel's up anymore. So and things like that. So I would love to actually meet this person in real life. If you could instantly become an expert in any part of your craft, spirituality, what would it be? I don't believe in becoming an expert in anything. In voodoo, in Santeria, and even in hoodoo, we're taught that we're always learning, we're always evolving. So, where I am today, I'm not going to be maybe in 5 years or 10 years. Like, there's misterios, okay, the mysteries. There's people that are initiated and don't even know all the mysteries. We will never know all the mysteries. We believe in ascension. We believe in getting higher and higher, learning secrets from the spirits, spirits giving us secrets, others sharing the secrets with them, the mysteries. But we will never, and we go into that understanding, learn fully all the mysteries. Because if you become an expert, then what is the point? Like, then your journey's over, right? So our journey is never ending, and our knowledge is ever expanding and growing. So I don't want to be, because then if I become an expert, I feel like it won't be challenging. I love that I learn different things every single day. So, and I strive to be a better and better practitioner and a representative of this path. Number 14, when you die, what do you think will happen to you and your soul? I believe that I'm going to go, I don't believe in hell. I do believe in a holding place. So I do believe in purgatory. I do believe that if someone is, let's say, a child molester, a rapist, a murderer, they go into a holding place, okay? And in this holding place, they have to make a penance for what they've done. And so until they actually repent for the evil that they've done, they are then allowed to either come back as a spirit guide to people like me, people that are mediums and, things like that. And they help you to in a good way. Okay, they repent and they help you, and then they get to ascend and evolve either into a next life, or they get to evolve as spirits. So instead of being low-level spirits of the malicious kind, they eventually evolve into beautiful, pure spirits, because I do believe in the ascension of spirits. I believe that death is just the very beginning of life. It's why I have such a close connection to the Gede spirits, to the cemetery spirits of Santeria, to the Gede spirits of voodoo, to the ancestral spirits of hoodoo and espiritimo. Like, I love working with spirits that once lived, okay? Because voodoo spirits, most of them were living actual beings that have tombstones in Haiti. Santeria spirits, some of them actually lived. Shango was actually a real king that had a different name. His name was not Shango, but then he evolved into a spirit. So, you know, these are real people a lot of the time. Some of them have always been spirits, but some of them were actually human beings. And that makes me relate to them on such a human level. You understand what I'm going through. And that's why a lot of us believe that there's one supreme being, God, as some would say, neither male nor female. But this person is just trying to, this God is just trying to run all the universes and the worlds and things like that. So they send the Orishas or the Loas or ancestral spirits to guide us in this life. And so I believe that's what we turn into. There's 401 Orishas and ever growing. Okay, there's over 100 voodoo spirits and ever expanding. There's new loas coming in all the time. So this is what I'm saying, that I believe that it's not the end. You may become a loa, you may become Orisha, you may become an ancestral spirit. We don't know. I just know that I believe that there is afterlife. It's just not the afterlife that most of us have been taught. I don't believe that we're going to go into the burning flames of hell, or things like that. I believe in a holding place. When I had a near-death experience, I saw purgatory, so I know it's real. And it was not what I was taught in church, is what made me finally leave the church. I saw Archangel Michael oversee over that. And there was just lost, sad people. And basically, I had the feeling telepathically that it's like, it's a place you go to until you could kind of make amends for things you've done, and then maybe you get to reincarnate. So sorry, I have like a runny nose, so I apologize for that. Number 15, where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? I see this channel growing, hopefully, and continuing to build a community. I see myself giving mentorship courses. I see myself growing spiritually, expanding my practice, expanding my business, continuing to grow. I see myself going back to my homeland and doing the beautiful ritual that I saw that needs to be done in Haiti. So I see peace in Haiti in 5 years. I see myself going back to Haiti and retracing the steps that my grandfather did, and unfortunately was forced to leave his country and go into Puerto Rico, where he met my grandmother and they made my beautiful mother together. Um, I see that. You know, in 5 years, I see my homeland of Puerto Rico being stable again, and possibly me being able to live somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't know where yet. Because I feel like, as much as I love the United States, my Caribbean blood, I feel like I have a mission to go back to my people and help my people. So, and having the resources to do so, because like I said, world hunger is one of my biggest passions that I would love to end, and I would love to help the children. So I have a spirit that is a mother spirit, and she loves children, and she just instills that love in me. So I see that. I see that. I see just, you know, a lot of things. My books being written, and things of that nature, and just continuing to meet beautiful people like yourselves. So this has been Get to Know Your Witches 15 question tag. Thank you so much for those that stuck to this video, because I know the video is pretty long. I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe and comment below. I like to see comments, because when I don't see any comments on my videos, it makes me not really want to make videos. It's nice to know, like, it's nice to like a video, and that's great, and I appreciate that too. But when somebody actually takes the time to comment on something, I know that they actually watched the video, and that somebody's actually retaining a message or getting something out of my, those are my favorite comments, when you guys actually just watch things and show me that you actually watched it, or ask me something, or whatever the case may be. Like, I appreciate that. I always answer all my comments, you know what I mean? So except the trolling comments, they just get deleted and the person gets blocked from my channel. But other than that, I answer all comments. Okay, much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next video, guys, bye, love you, and have a great weekend. Bye.